we play tomorrow, not tonight. Tomorrow we play the Cavs tomorrow, so we'll see.
Ooh.
But
When
yeah,
when does
no,
Dorian Finney-Smith, is he already on the team, or what is
yeah.
he's gonna be playing tomorrow, you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be active. Um, but man, I'm excited to talk about the Christmas Day game, obviously, because that happened kind of before or after we were
After.
talking about. Yeah, so
Yeah, because the game that
um,
was during was the Mavs one, right?
yeah, and I think right this you can write it down or not, but I was also gonna talk about the viewership and just kind of how
Mm,
like of course it's still the NBA on Christmas. Like, don't be stupid.
right.
Uh, like I don't know. Netflix is cool, bro. But I mean, we'll talk about it, bro. But it's just like, just don't be stupid, bro. Just believe in what you've always done, and there's a reason there's certain traditions that you have. But we'll talk about it. So,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ here with my lovely co-host ZD, and it
and what's
is
going on, everybody?
it is December 30th. Christmas games. We actually shot our last pod during Christmas, so you see you see
Yep.
me dressed up in my Christmas sweater and stuff. That'll be dropping here soon, but just a great day for basketball as a whole for that day. We were talking about it before we started. Um, Christmas, NBA on
Probably the best day of the
Christmas.
year, bro.
Yeah,
It was the best day of the year,
that what
probably.
I would say, like, not even trying to sound corny and stuff, but I didn't get much presents, but that was like the gift for me this year, was being
We
able to
talked about it
watch
in the chat.
watch those games, bro. It just made me feel like a little kid again, bro. Like Curry hitting big
100%.
shots, he like
Super nostalgic, bro.
like you said,
Super.
he tried to be like the Grinch, you know what I mean? But
Exactly. He tried to
AR
steal
wasn't
it. He
having
tried to
that,
steal
bro.
it. For sure. For
but
sure. We'll talk about it,
yeah,
man.
we'll
We'll
talk
talk
about it.
about
We'll talk about it.
it.
Welcome back. This is episode 19.
Mhm.
We have a couple of things that we want to talk to y'all about for sure. Definitely want to talk about our squads. Um, I guess we could kind of start it off, bro. Your Lakers are
Yeah, I
kind of
got you.
making moves right now, bro. Just got
Yeah,
traded
so
for Dorian-Finney-Smith. How do you feel about that?
100%. Yeah, no, we could talk about that for sure. I think that's probably a really big deal to people. But yeah, no, we traded D'Lo for Finney-Smith, DFS, and honestly, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I've watched Dorian Finney-Smith for the last probably 6, 7 years, bro. Just really building his like overall like player archetype and kind of being that 3 and D wing. And I think you sent me a couple of those like Instagram slides where it kind of shows you the player archetypes, but he's like the definition of like a three and
Three
D
and D,
wing. And
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And that's very coveted in the NBA right now, especially at his size and length. Pause, but just for how big he is and for what he can for what he can accomplish on the basketball court from just shooting threes. I think that's really important for the Lakers right now because why are shooting so horrible? D'Lo, I love D'Lo, but I just think over the last 2 seasons in the playoffs, his weaknesses has really shown through. And I think even in the regular season, obviously people know that D'Lo's a hot and cold player, but for the Lakers and what we need right now, we need security and knowing that all the players on our roster fit together. And at times, man, he just was the odd man out. I just feel like, especially in the playoffs last season and the season before, especially against in the Nuggets series, like he just really struggles to be able to guard like high tier NBA players and just be able to contribute like consistently on the offensive end. Whereas Dorian Finney-Smith plays defense no matter what, no matter how he's shooting, and then he can shoot 40% from three. So like that's just that's exactly what the Lakers need because we haven't been able to guard at all season, and we just haven't been able to shoot. But yeah, no, I think more importantly, I just want to see how this changes like our roster because now there will be more shots going towards Max Christie and Austin Reeves, and I just feel like Dorian Finney-Smith also is less of a ball dominant player. Like you don't really see him dribbling the air out of the ball that much as opposed to D'Lo. And
D'Lo,
you
yeah.
guys know, yeah, bro, D'Lo's style, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But Dorian Finney-Smith is definitely more of like a off the ball weapon that we can use. So I think there's going to be a little bit more usage to go around for players like Austin Reeves and Max Christie, like I just alluded to. And we'll kind of see how that plays out because I'm interested, bro. I think Dorian Finney-Smith from a piece perspective looks great on paper, But you guys have to remember whenever players get traded from a new team to a new team, like the chemistry is impacted. Like it's not as simple as it seems. I think people kind of forget that, like, not everybody can keep the same like chemistry and core, like just switching players or like that's kind of what was going on with the Knicks. Like
Right.
that's kind of why McCall Bridges like just starting to figure it out right now, but it kind of took them a while, even though he's played with those boys a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
because he was in Villanova, and so like you would assume that the chemistry's already there, but it still takes a lot of time to try to like figure that out, and obviously JJ's gonna have to figure out how he's gonna use DFS and kind of there's a lot we have to figure out around that trade,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not as black and white as people may think whenever you look at it on paper and you're just like, okay, bet we gotta I will say I think we won the trade too. I was gonna ask you that as well, kind of after I finished my point here, but I think we won the trade, and that's important. Obviously, the Lakers have gotten pretty unlucky over the last couple years with the trades especially the Westbrook trade. That's probably the most detrimental to our team so far, unfortunately. And he's been great, obviously, for the Nuggets, and I'm really happy that he's been playing really well, bro, because I think it's actually like saved his career. But that's a whole other story. But the point is, whenever we traded for Westbrook, we just gave up a lot of big assets, and we've been struggling to really dig ourselves out of that hole and starting the 2020 for 2025 season off right, I think, with our first trade and making sure the player exiting has weaknesses that we need to expend, and then the player coming in has strengths that like is able to cover up those areas and of weaknesses for us. And I think that's kind of what I was talking about, with the defensive struggles and the shooting struggles and everything like that. But I was gonna ask your thoughts, man. Like, what do you think about it? And kind of like, do you think this is a good trade for us?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, bro. When I first saw it, or you sent it to me, and I actually saw it whenever Shams had reported it. But I think that's a perfect pickup for y'all. That's exactly what y'all needed. Like you said, I just don't want to copy what you just said, but I mean that's pretty much how it is. I mean
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're pretty locked in with your Lakers, so that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Someone that is kind of always has been in trade talks for the Nets, and I think they've last year they were wanting a lot in return for him, and
That's a good point.
he hasn't played as well as he was last year, but that doesn't take away his value that he can contribute to a winning team. So I think
Great point. We
the
can't
way,
talk about how this impacts the Nets as well. I
right.
think I forgot to bring that up, but you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you can talk about it a little bit, but
Yeah, for
I'll help you
sure.
out.
But I think
That's
that was a great pickup for y'all. Like you said, the thing with trades and stuff, it's not as simple as, oh, let's just plug and play this guy into the team, and he should be
exactly,
doing what
exactly.
he was doing on the Nets on the Lakers now, just because
Right.
obviously the Nets didn't have a player like
It's a
LeBron.
completely different team, completely different coaching staff, completely
Right.
different city. Like
Exactly. Different
they're humans, they're not
expectations
robots.
as well.
Exactly.
We are playing in LA. It's usually the lights are really bright out there, so it's like, can you handle that? You're a pro, but obviously you probably haven't played under the spotlight. That's how it is with the Lakers, bro, or Knicks, or these big teams.
Exactly. These big market teams,
You're just under a
Celtics.
microscope. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but I think I would say y'all won the trade as well. Just depending on how good of a player D'Lo can be on the Nets, though, because I don't know what it is, man. Anytime he goes, like, he's not playing with the Lakers, I feel like he does do decent. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. So,
they let him kind
yep.
of play a little more free wherever he's gotten traded to these past couple of times. Nets specifically when he was there last time. But
Yeah, I actually think D'Lo green-lighted the trade. So like I don't think he was too disappointed to go back there, to your point, because he kind of knows the freedom that he's going to have on that Nets team. And kind of like, piggybacking off of your point, I think the Nets are just in full tank mode and they're just going for, again, Cooper Flag, AJ, like they're looking towards the
the
future.
future,
Yeah, and that's smart. I think that's something that, if we were going to be honest, we talked about it at length, kind of on this pod, but people or teams need to be realistic with the roster that they have, and if like they can't win an NBA Finals, like what are you doing, right?
right?
Like what else are you going to be doing in the meantime to make sure you can get to that goal? And I think like Asai's done a pretty good job since, people forget, bro, the Nets just recently had Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, and they've completely, 180 their team, and now they've given up pretty much all their assets to be
Assets,
able
yeah.
to, yeah, like, really focus on their future, and that's something I think is smart, for them. That is one plus for the Nets that, this doesn't have anything to do with the Lakers, but I think it is smart, kind of what they're doing. They're kind of in a fire sale right now, and I think even Cam Johnson could be next too. Like not to say that he's not a part of their future because he's a really valuable asset, but like I think right now he's probably playing like the max value.
Hmm.
I don't know if Cam Johnson's ever going to get better, so they do have to take that into consideration. And the trade deadline's like not super, close, so
What
there's a
is
lot of
it?
time to.
Is it in the summer or am I bugging? No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no. Let's see the specific date.
Beginning of the year, huh? Like
February
February. Yeah,
6th.
I was gonna say
Yeah, yeah. So
February.
like, yeah, February 6th. So it's not like the Nets don't have time, or the Lakers don't have time to figure out, a couple other moves. And, I think what we might be able to do an exercise next episode. We can kind of go through the trade machine and maybe see some of the potential players that might get traded to other teams. But yeah, I think the Nets definitely. Again, like they have their eyes on the future. That's what's most important to them. You can clearly see the direction they're going. That's also another thing I didn't allude to, but it's important to not only implement a plan, but then execute the plan. So clearly, like you can tell that the Nets are being focused on their future. They're not really in halfway mode where, even 2 months ago, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas is like, one of the best backcourts in the NBA. Like that ain't gonna work out, long
No.
term. So you have to make sure you take that into consideration with everything and these deals and stuff like that. But um, yeah, no, ultimately, our Christmas Day game, I would probably say that was my favorite game so far that I've seen this year. Just, not even trying to be corny, like CJ was saying, it just genuinely, if you watched all 4 quarters, it was amazing. Steph Curry and LeBron James, just they continue to dominate, at the highest peak of the NBA powers that they possess. And I know CJ, can talk about it at length, but bro, like the seeing LeBron James and Steph Curry still battle it out on Christmas Day is just nostalgic as hell. And being able to see both of those teams really compete, and obviously Austin Reeves step up in a massive way and hit that shot. And bro, I probably jumped out of my seat probably like 10 feet in the air, bro.
That was
10 feet in the air, bro, for that game winner. Because if you guys don't know, Austin Reeves hit a game winner at like,
hmm
I think it was like 1 second left. And then, LeBron and Stephen Curry were going back and forth from three. Like, there were so many things going on. But I just think the Christmas aura, obviously, and all the other games surrounding it, even with the Mavericks game that, they somehow stormed back, almost beat the Timberwolves somehow. But just the juice in every single player, I think. But I did want to talk about kind of Austin Reeves and Max Christie and their ascension. And I think those games, these last couple games, obviously, we've played the Warriors and then I think just recently the Kings, if I'm not
hmm
mistaken. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me see. The Kings, yeah. It was the Kings that was when AD was cooking. But
hmm
um no, so that game specifically, I think, is one of the reasons why D'Lo got traded because I think JJ, Rob Pelinka, and just the staff kind of recognized in that specific game the weaknesses and kind of the strengths that our guards have, and where a move can be made. Austin Reeves had an amazing game, but Max Christie did as well, and the defense that he was able to play on, he didn't lock up Curry, but he played pretty good defense on him, and obviously this is the game that AD went down, so it was also an important win for us because we won without AD, so it kind of gave us a little bit of a blueprint on how we can do that against a quality team in the Warriors. And yes, the Warriors have been sputtering recently. Obviously, they were playing a lot better at the beginning of the season, but I still feel like I was telling you, like whenever I'm watching the Lakers, I kind of see, hey, is this a quality team? Like we beat the Grizzlies recently, and I feel like that's a quality team. And as long as we're battling against playoff caliber teams, I feel like we're right in the mix of being one of the better teams in the West, and at least top six. And I feel like the Lakers will end up having like a top 6 seed, even if it's the number 6 seed. I just feel like with our current roster and the way that it's structured, if we can get our young guys to play a lot better along with our bench, right? I think our bench unit played very good. And obviously, talking a little bit about the Warriors too, I just think Kuminga's a little bit overrated, and then Podziemski just can't really do anything. So it was really just Curry, shooting a lot of threes and hitting a lot of threes, and he hit this crazy shot in the corner that I
Bro,
was like, dude, how are they even in this game, bro? Like,
because of
we
that
got
man right
Mike
there, bro.
Green double bangs, we got everything in that game. We had everything in that game. Just lovely defense, scrappy defense, great offense. It was one of the best games I've seen all year. Like I said a couple minutes ago, it was
Mhm.
just the competitiveness and then just the juice in the arena. But ultimately, I think right now the Warriors are kind of in deep shit. I know you were kind of seeing like maybe I don't know if you saw this, but Draymond Green was kind of calling out Buddy Hield for his shot selection and like
Yes.
yeah, you might have seen that on Twitter, but
Hmm.
and then like obviously Curry is just kind of the only person who's been the alien, right? He's been super consistent his entire career. He just continues to put up 25 to 30 points a game somehow on like, he does it a lot different too than he used to in 2016. There's a lot less dribbles. He's more like off the ball and he kind of just runs everywhere. You've seen it, but still what he's able to do at his age, I think the Warriors are in a little they should look to basically they should look to trade Jonathan Kuminga and some of the younger assets. I feel like they're kind of in between, like they don't really know what to do right now, as opposed to where the Lakers kind of have a pretty clear direction. I was telling you, I think we're pushing to make the NBA Finals. We're signaling that we're trying to build a roster around LeBron and AD that can do that. Again, bringing in Dorian-Finney-Smith is a perfect example of that. I feel like that's a championship move. That's what I call a championship move. That's going to improve your roster. And again, bro, I don't want to talk about it for like 30 minutes, but dude, yeah, I think the Warriors should definitely trade Jonathan Kuminga and a couple of their younger assets if possible, just to look towards their future because they struck out on James Wiseman. They had a couple mishaps again with not to say that Andrew Wiggins hasn't panned out, but we don't, he actually played pretty good in that game,
Yeah.
but
He's just like
um,
streaky. He's really streaky.
he was also the one who gave up the game winner. Just got
Mm.
blown by, bro, and just people forget like right now in the NBA you need defense with the amount of threes and the amount of off like basically the Wizards can score 140 points on the Celtics at any given night if they're hitting their threes. So now defense is just of utmost again like it's just very coveted. Like you want to have that on your team, and like I was saying, I just think it's time for certain teams to make championship moves, bro. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like it's not there's no more around time, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
really just like you gotta kind of see, okay, are we going to push for the NBA championship or what are we doing? Are we thinking about the future? Like what's the next step? You know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts on that? And kind of I know you watched the game and we can
Yeah.
talk about, the Suns and Nuggets as well because that game was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on the Lakers and Warriors?
Yeah, no, it was like you said, it's just great being able to see these two players go at it again like they're in their prime 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that blows my mind. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't really probably think about it like that either cuz they're too young or they're a LeBron hater or they don't like Steph. It's like, bro,
Yeah,
like
they don't
you
like Steph.
yeah, like just because
I
of
kind of used to hate on Steph, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like it's a part of it, right? When you're the greatest of your era, if you're not if or one of the greatest of your era, you know what I mean? If he's not on your team, you're probably not gonna like him because they're probably whooping on your team, or
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
done like Curry has fucking that shot that he
bro.
hit
He would
against the
just,
Thunder. Like, come on, bro. But
yeah, he would just
it's
kill the
just great,
Lakers.
bro. It's amazing being able to see that like the longevity of the greatest players, and they kind of are setting an example of like this is how it should be. If you're really good and you get into this league, you stay healthy. It's like keep up all the hard work and shit. Like this is kind of like what you're able to get out of it. And
Yeah, like, yeah, bro. You squeeze every single part of that lemon, like all the juice,
hmm
all the juice from that. You get that. So I
but no,
agree.
yeah, I was like the same way with you, bro. I was like, oh, it's Curry. Curry hit that shot. I was like, what are they gonna do? And then, that play they drew it. AR said it was actually for LeBron.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
All that.
what do you think
He
about
was like
that?
throwing tears, bro.
What do you think about that?
Um, hey man, it is what it is. Like he saw an opportunity, he took it. I think LeBron would do the same thing. You got to play basketball. That's what I remember when I was younger, bro. Like the way I would think about it. Like if there was ever a play we were running, whatever the case may be, like I would always tell people, I'm like, bro, yeah, it's for this dude. Like, of course you want to give him the ball, but at the end of the day, like if they sag off of you, like they don't play you right, like still you got to play basketball. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a good lesson to remember. Just even if the play is for whoever, it don't really matter if Andrew Wiggins can't guard you, he can't guard you.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, yeah,
Uh,
bro, just what's up?
no, I was just gonna say another game that we actually. You said it was gonna be a good one. I didn't know if they had their whole roster playing, but the Sixers beating the Celtics, that's probably the Sixers win of the year, right?
Oh, bro. Dog, like when I told you that, I think it says something in the air because I was like, I feel it, bro. Like I know they're talking about it. Like they're just like, oh, because you got to remember, like they're humans just like us. So like, what do you think they're talking about? Like they're like, oh, like you're saying, like people thought we weren't gonna play tonight. We all playing tonight. Let's see what we can get. We can give them, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you never know if Embiid, dude. I won't ever forget what B said, but just watching Joel Embiid is like it's like Hakeem Olajuwon reincarnated and like he can just hit threes, bro. Like it's insane. And him getting hurt, still doing that, like he's still just 30, walking 30 piece, and he's shooting threes, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
it's scary because it's like he doesn't even have to go in the post. If he's hurt, he can like go out and shoot threes, and like
Mm-hmm.
he'll shoot them at 38%,
Yeah.
40%. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of.
He's one of the greatest offensive big men for sure in this
Yeah, we
league.
talked about it. The 70, like the 100. I think he might make it, bro. Like truly, because
Yeah.
he's bad. He's like a anytime, basically anytime he's cooking, we all kind of remember like, oh
Oh
shit.
shit.
Like it's like, oh
Joel
shit.
Embiid, huh?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Because I mean, Maxi too. Maxi was getting
He
going.
had
I
a
think
game.
I think it just shows more of the weakness of the Celtics, though. Like
Mm,
that's what I was telling you. Like I think if the Sixers are healthy and those guys are cooking. Like you
right.
can't 80 points is 80 points from those three dudes. So it's like
Mm,
you got to be careful with that. And like when I was telling you on that day, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna still be wary because like we know all three of those guys are killers, bro. Like Paul George, Maxi and B, those guys are still pretty freaking scary. Like they don't
yeah.
even need Jerry McCain or any injuries. As long as those guys are healthy, like that's a lot of firepower, bro.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, what were
Caleb
your thoughts on
I was about
that?
to say, yeah, Caleb Martin had a game as well. That man is a
Yeah, the
Celtic
Celtics
killer, huh?
killer. Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. Celtics killer.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. For
He
sure.
is,
He was
bro,
hitting
because
threes and
he was doing that shit in Miami, bro.
100%. I
Like,
think Tatum had a great game, bro.
oh
Like I
yeah.
still think everybody was playing with juice. It was really highly competitive. Like there was, I think the what was it? The Sixers were up at halftime, I want to say, too. It
Mm,
was like they were wire to wire. I think it's called a wire to wire win where you're leading at halftime and then you win the game.
mm.
Um so they went wire to wire, which is pretty difficult to do against the Celtics, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
yeah, like
they scored 66 in the first half. It was 58 or 66 to 58 going into the
yep,
third.
yeah, wire to wire, bro.
And
For
then
sure.
they
Probably the
kind of
best win of the year.
yeah, I was about to say they kind of had a little stinker in the third. They only scored 16, but ended up scoring 36 in the fourth to close it out. So,
Yeah, almost 40 points. But I really do think the Celtics are they're weak when obviously they're hitting shots, but just the Celtics give up so many threes too, bro. Like they guard well, but
mm,
they also don't. Like there's possessions where I watch them and I know Missoula gets frustrated because it's like you have these long wings on, long wing defenders and super big bigs, obviously, with like Horford, Cornette, guys that can shoot threes, but it's like sometimes the defensive output is just not what it needs to be. They'll give up 120 points to the Hornets or whatever. Like guys just aren't super locked in. So, yeah, dude, that was also honestly a contender for the game of the night. Probably was the game of the night if I'm looking at it from unbiased perspective. But
mm.
um, yeah, I think the Lakers one was right there too, like with that game winner and just all the games were
I would say
amazing,
all
dude.
the
10 out of
games
10.
really.
10 out
Uh,
of 10.
I fell asleep on the night game, the Suns Nuggets, so I didn't get to watch all of it. But I felt
Okay.
I feel like that might have been the only one that wasn't like score wise, obviously, but I feel like the score probably didn't reflect how the game was. You know what I
How
mean?
close it was. Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna actually ask you, like, we were just talking about how the viewership was down, but like,
Right.
bro, that night, obviously, competing with Christmas and Netflix and all this stuff. Like, what do you think about that? Think about the NFL trying to steal that day away from the NBA, bro. And honestly, there's a clip of LeBron, and he was talking about it. He was like, nah, like
He's like, I
this is
love the
our day,
NFL, but
like
like,
yeah, like this is our day. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel the same way, bro. Like those games that the NFL games that we had on Christmas were pretty whack, honestly. But like, even if they were great, I feel like it should be for basketball, bro. Like why does everyone
Yeah,
why can't basketball have its one day? You know,
for sure.
like Thanksgiving is for football. Why can't Christmas just be for
You
basketball?
see what Charles Barkley said too, man,
No, what do you say?
about how it should start on Christmas.
Ooh, like the season should start on Christmas?
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of crazy.
That's pretty
But
crazy.
what do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't
No
like
way,
that.
no way, no way,
No, no
right?
way. Like that's like half the season. Like they're 28 games in right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, you
Or
just talking
4.
to talk.
Yeah, he just wanted
Good
to.
idea though, for viewership, sure, but at the end of the day, it's deeper than viewership, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I
you
don't
know,
know. I feel like the NBA season's so dope to me because you can be the Sixers, be 11 and 17 right now, and then you just turn your season at the right time and end up being a fourth seed in the East. You know what I mean? Like you have the
exactly,
opportunity to like figure out the season, and I feel like it's how you look at it because the NFL is dope because you can't do that. If you mess up, if you lose 6 in a row, you're gonna have to win all 10. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, like with the
or
Bengals, bro.
11. Sorry, yeah, exactly. So I don't know, bro. I feel like that's the thing. NBA, NFL, it's obviously two completely different games, and you don't play as much games in one, and you play a shit ton in another. So it's like, are these guys caring every single time they play? So it's, you know what I mean. But no, keep NBA on Christmas. Turn off those football games, bro. We
Yeah,
don't.
bro.
I didn't
Like,
even.
yeah,
I
it's
only
it's the
watched
thing,
it. I
man.
mean, your team played as well, and I mean, we don't even need to talk about that. But if Zach wasn't with me, I probably wouldn't even turn that game on. To be honest, he was like, "Hey,
I
bro, can
mean,
I watch this?" I was
hey,
like, "For sure."
Lamar Code though, bro.
No, yeah, for
I think
sure.
I always love watching greatness. That is one thing, no matter what sport. I think that's the beauty of sports, right? Like it can be Lamine Yamal, it can be Lamar Jackson. Like I'm
Mm,
still gonna watch for
yeah,
real.
no, for sure, for sure. But yeah, what do you think about the NFL being on
Um,
Christmas?
I just think it's just a marketing thing, right? Like I think it's for money, and they're trying to get like I said on the last pod, kind of just your attention is trying to be spread thin by every advertisement, every Hulu, Netflix, all these things, man. Like your attention, like you can't even focus on every single thing if you wanted to. So I just think they're just trying to pull more and more viewers kind of away from hoops and kind of that tradition that we have. But like you were saying, bro, I think that's something we got to keep. You can't lose that, right? Just the importance of like the nostalgia, bro, really for me. And like you were saying earlier, just I felt like a kid again, man. Like that was probably my biggest gift, honestly, is just how the games ended up playing out, and kind of talking about the Nuggets and Suns. I think that was a really good game for Beal and KD, and really to lock in. And honestly, like that game wasn't. It was probably the least competitive out of all of the games, but ultimately, like I feel like the Suns have done a decent job being able to handle kind of Devin Booker being away, and Bradley Beal's just really been stepping up. I think that's what I had in my notes. He just looks a lot smoother. He doesn't look hurt right now, so he just, I'm just watching him, and he has a ton of juice, and I think that's what the Suns are going to need, especially when it comes playoff time. I was going to mainly talk about that. I think if they do run into the Nuggets in the playoffs, it's going to be interesting to see how the matchup of guarding Nikola Jokic with Nurkic is really going to pan out. And obviously, like we'll talk about Nurkic a little later because
Right.
but but
Facts.
that's besides the point, dog. Like he was
Yeah,
hooping in that game. I know
he
you saw it before
was.
you probably yeah before before you went to sleep, and he just can't guard Yoke. I think we had the triple double, and unfortunately, he only had 2 assists. So that's another one. And then the
Crazy.
game after, of course, he got a triple double. So
Of
I
course
just
he
can't
did.
get it right. I'll probably have to hang the cleats up on that one. But
I feel you,
just
man.
walking, bro. Just watching Jokic, he's just a maestro. I mean, I had it in my notes again. It's just some of the stuff that he's able to do on a basketball court is just mind-boggling. And I think if he's able to figure out a way again, and I think he has, but I think the Nuggets still have some work to do when it comes to working on their team chemistry and really figuring out all the pieces and how they're going to fit together. But AG, right, he's been banged up pretty much all year. He's been in and out of the lineup. But Christian Braun's really stepped up, and then Julian Strawther as well. I think those two guys have been probably some of the most important, and Russell Westbrook, to
Russ. I
be
was gonna
honest.
say yeah,
But
Russ.
I just I kind of I got my feelings towards Russ. I love Russ, bro. Like he's a hooper for sure. But I just wonder. I'm like, bro, where was this on the Lakers, fam? Like
Do,
he be getting to it
I was about to say, do you
now.
think is it because of like the type of player like Braun is, and like he probably felt like he needed to get him involved more? Or what do you think it was? Because I feel
I
like that's
guess, man, we can play that game if you want, but just grown men to grown men. I just think like if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. I just feel like he should have been confident in his role, and that's besides the point, bro. Like he's just really showing up for the Nuggets, bro. Like,
right.
and that's what matters. I think he's definitely played himself. He's played himself out of all the hate. I don't see any more Westbrook hate. It's been real quiet, but I think the Suns are a lot more capable than people realize. And I think Tyus Jones, the addition of Tyus Jones, definitely helped them out a lot. Just getting organized on offense, and then Dunn, and then like a Kogi, like they have some continuity within that team. But that's ultimately, I feel like Kevin Durant is just the engine that makes them go. So as long as he's healthy, I think they have a fighter's chance. And obviously the Nuggets didn't play the best. They didn't shoot the best either. That's probably why Jokic kind of didn't have a ton of assists. But yeah, that was the final and last game really to wrap up, kind of talking about the Christmas Day games. That game was probably the least interesting, but still to see Beal look healthy, Kevin Durant still going crazy. He's a part of that alien club, and then obviously the Jokic thing. It's just mind-boggling to watch him every night. Put up
Hmm.
the stats that he does, and we kind of just take it for granted. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about your team, man, about how the Thunder have been playing because they're hot. Woo,
Yeah,
they're hot.
11 straight, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean, really since the NBA Cup, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. What are your thoughts on that? It's tough to talk about winning, huh?
Yes, but like I said, it's kind of we. I would just be nitpicking certain things. Isaiah Joe has been shooting a lot better than what he has been these past couple, like
Oh
pretty much the whole
man,
season.
sure.
AJ Mitchell has been doing really good. For everyone that doesn't know about him, he's another rookie that we drafted in our first round. Shooting, I think I don't know the stats exactly. I saw it because I follow like the Thunder like basketball pages on Twitter and stuff, and I think they said he is like he's been making the most threes or something like that. So
Oh, okay.
contributing on the offensive end. Caruso's been out, but when you have players like Lou Dort and Cason Wallace, they're pretty much a Caruso essentially. Probably.
Oh, stat. Cason Wallace and Shea, the steals, bro.
Oh
Whew.
yeah, they're top 10, right? Both of
Yeah, I
them are
think
top
they're the
10.
only duo. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't really say, but Shea is the MVP in my eyes right now, especially the numbers he's been putting up. I think that's what we were talking about.
Okay,
He
okay.
because you remember we talked
I
about
get
it.
behind that. Yeah.
The thing that I thought with Shea, the reason why he wouldn't get the MVP is just probably because he not that he couldn't, because we talked about this, he could probably drop 60 every night if he really wanted to, but the way he is our engine of our offense. He could get pretty much 40 every night, like you said, just because of his ability to get fouls drawn, and he's been shooting really well from three lately. I think he's like 35% from three right now. So, and he's attempting a lot more threes as well. So, just his game, bro. He dropped 45 against the Pacers the other night, and I don't think he dropped a lot of points the night before. It might have been like 22, but we still beat the Hornets. So
Not a lot of points. 22
22,
points.
right?
Julie.
Yeah. It's I'm spoiled as a fan, but I think he's the MVP, bro. I just I feel like I wouldn't say he got robbed last year because obviously Jokic was he deserved it. He put up the stats and his team was doing really well, but I feel like this is Shea's year. You know what I mean? We've been
Yeah,
number one
bro.
pretty much the whole season, like number one in the West,
Net rating and
net
everything,
rating.
pretty much. I was gonna say, I think also alluding to your point, I think what's hurting Jokic right now is just the Nuggets are not that good. They're not
Right.
as good as the Thunder for sure. The Thunder are probably top three team in the NBA, but um, bro, they're freaking good though,
Good.
bro.
Yeah.
Like they are real good, and Shea's obviously been playing crazy, and yeah, I agree with that, bro. The MVP, I feel like those talks need to be even louder than they have been, because he's been. I think he'll probably win Player of the Month most likely as well.
Yeah.
Just what he's been doing this entire month, it's pretty. I think now he's first in total points,
Mm-hmm.
second in average, like a couple. If you guys don't, I mean, it's not even like it was that long ago, but I think 2 months ago when it first started, I just think Shea, he started off a little slow. I think he was like top 10 in points. He wasn't top five, but he's back to dropping his daily 30 pieces, and J Dub obviously, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see whenever Chet comes back, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah.
much better they can get.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing, bro. We haven't been healthy this whole season, to be honest. Whenever Chet was healthy,
I was still
iHeart,
leaning.
and yeah, bro. I think shout out to the whole squad, really. Like they just all know, like how you're saying, the continuity thing. We don't, obviously they know who the best player on the team is, but I think Shea said it as well. He's like, he's like, I don't, in my eyes, we don't have a bench. He's like, we just have a second rotation. And like
Mm,
when you have your best player saying that about
I
your
like that.
team, you know how like much confidence that gives to these young guys. That I think Cason Wallace, he said that his favorite player like at Kentucky was Shea. So what I mean, you have
Yeah,
someone that's like
yeah,
looking up to you. That's like not even that much younger than you. So it's cool seeing that like he takes that role as being like the leader of the group, and he has clearly shown that he can carry us to wins all season long. So, like I said, Shea for MVP. That's my MVP this season.
yeah, for sure.
I think one thing. I mean, I talked to you about it as well, like in one of the past pods. I
Mhm.
think we should still try to get Cam Johnson, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it would take.
Really?
Yeah, I just think I don't know. Like I just the we have a great team and we all play well together. Chemistry's perfect. I don't know. I just feel like we're still missing something though. You know what I mean? Like that like y'all said, like you said with your team, y'all made a what was it, a championship
Championship move.
move. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I mean obviously we did
I
that
like that.
in the off season we did that. But now,
Hmm.
yes, we're one of the best, or we're the best team in the West, but in my eyes it's like what else? What are we lacking in right now? And I feel like Cam Johnson provides that, like you were saying with DFS. Like he's a shooter that he may not be the best defensively, but he could go out there and play decent defense for us. And I feel like he wouldn't take away from our team what we're all doing on the defensive end,
Right.
and he could shoot the
Like
ball
only
lights out.
add. He's only an addition.
Addition.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but then again, if they don't do it, I'm not gonna press the out. You know what I mean? Like we're still having a great
Yeah.
season. It's just more so like nitpicking and seeing like what I've been noticing about the team. The thing that I
For
do
sure.
notice that I wish like we would. I mean, we're obviously one of the better teams on defense, but I see like we give up a lot of threes, bro, and like that's in this league that could
Yeah.
be very dangerous for us, especially in the playoffs.
It's
A
like
team,
it's like the golden dagger.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
because I think
you.
it was a couple weeks ago. It was the cup game actually. I remember it because everyone was here, and I would be like, "Oh, corner three open." I don't think I brought that up to you, but I literally said that probably like 6 times in like a half. I'm like, bro, like that corner three has been open every single time. Like they're like swinging it so fast that someone's having to close
Yeah,
out, and that's an open three for an NBA player. You know what I mean?
for real, for
But
real.
like I said, nitpicking stuff, bro. I mean, we're 26-5, so I have not a lot to really complain about at this point. But I don't know, man. It's
Yeah,
exciting. I really just can't
a
wait
few bad
to.
losses,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's all good.
And our losses,
26 wins.
I was gonna say our losses haven't even been like we haven't been getting blown out. All our losses, I think, are like single
No, not at all.
digits. So it's not like we've been in every game pretty much, and we've won a couple games by
Exactly.
like 6 or 4. But hey, bro, a win's a win, And like the thing
100%.
that I noticed with the team, even if we start out slow, or we started out fast or whatever, I feel like that third quarter is kind of where sometimes we'll like get in the mud a little bit and kind of just our offense gets a little stagnant a little bit. Like people aren't
Yeah.
hitting their shots or something. And that's kind of where like the other team will come back. But come fourth quarter, I think that's when like everyone like locks in and, they start playing good defense and, rotating really well and hitting their shots. So it's
Yeah,
been
they start
great, bro.
playing like as a unit.
As a unit, yeah. So no, yeah, bro. Not much for me to really say besides that.
100%.
It's
I
just
get
one
it.
of those things, bro. I'm just kind of waiting. I just want to see what this team looks like at the end of the season going into the playoffs, because that's when I'll start having these hard
Yeah, that's
or
when you'll know.
not
Yeah.
hard conversations, but like conversations of like, wow, is this like one of the best Thunder teams that we've
I
ever
was gonna
had?
ask you, bro. I think we're getting to that point of the season though, where like teams just are who they are.
Are right. I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I've asked you and even Los. Shout out to Los. You know what I mean? It was when we were recording at 2600. I think I asked y'all that. Like, what, like, how many games into the season do you know that like this is the team that we're gonna be getting for the whole season? And I feel like we're kind of like you
yeah,
said, we're kind of geting to that point
we're getting
already.
at that point. Yeah, for sure. Like, you can kind of tell which teams are gonna be where. Like, I'm just glad the Lakers don't suck, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And y'all made a trade that is
Yes,
actually makes
championship
sense.
move. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And like, yeah, we're progressing. We're going in the right direction.
Hmm.
So, also, Braun did say today, I think he wants to be a Laker
Oh, really?
till the end. Yeah,
How do you feel about that, sir?
made me very, very happy. I think I'll send it to you a little later in a second, but that brings, it could bring a tear to my eye. I just think, like you're saying with the Thunder, just for the purpose of continuity and camaraderie and being able to build a team and really push for the finals, it's important to have your superstar players always on the team and being an ultimate leader for them, for the other guys, especially for the young dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, I just think the Thunder have been, the darlings of the NBA the last few seasons, and obviously, hopefully next year they get a Christmas Day game. But I feel like they will, bro. I feel like they will.
I
But
think so.
yeah,
I
they've
think
been
we'll.
hooping, man, for sure.
Yeah, it's been great, bro. Like I said, because I was, I've been the Thunder fan throughout the ups and the downs. You know what I mean? So the fact that my team's actually good now, and no one like, not even trying to sound like that, but like no one can really say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I mean
Yeah, yeah,
they can, but it's nitpicking shit at this point. You know what I mean? Like we're clearly one of the best teams in the league right now, and now it's
for
just
sure.
like, for me as a fan, I just want to see this in the playoffs. That's just all I want to see at this point. And like we have such, I mean, seasons long still, not saying that we're going to be locked for number 1 for the whole season, but we have the second place team is the Grizzlies, and we spanked them last night, mind you. They were shorthanded, but we still went out there and beat them by like 20.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're 5 games behind us right now.
Yeah,
So,
the Grizzlies are a quality team,
yeah,
obviously when they're healthy.
right. So, I'm just ready to see it in the postseason, brother. That's all I'm.
I get it, man. I'm
You know.
excited for that. It's coming around on All-Star break, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for what's to come in the NBA for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Let's go into some of these topics that we had.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings just fired their head coach
Yeah,
Mike
Mike Brown,
Brown
huh?
a couple of days ago.
Yeah, bro. Hey, Sacktown, stand up. I think it's dumb. I don't know what they're doing, bro. Like for him to be the coach of the year, I mean, a couple coaches have already spoken about it, but in my opinion, I just think it's disrespectful to do that to somebody who's brought so much hope to the city and again has built so many things there, right? And just
Hmm.
the camaraderie and again, like we keep talking about it, but the continuity is important of your team, and being able to like mess that up right now for where the Kings have been at. Like I understand from a business perspective, but I don't understand from like a realistic perspective, because I feel like Mike Brown really gave them the best chance to win, even though he wasn't doing that from like, again, taking them to the finals. There's reasons for that. It was because their roster was lacking certain things, and it's not necessarily his fault. Obviously, he won the Coach of the Year, which is kind of self-explanatory. Honestly, I don't really need to tell you guys, if you guys know basketball, what that means. You're the best coach in the NBA. So I just feel like, another team is going to pounce on this opportunity to hire somebody like him, and he'll definitely have another job soon. I don't know if it'll be a head coaching job, but Mike Brown is definitely one of the most respected people in the NBA, and it's just a shame to see what Sacramento really did to him just because of the season that they're having so far. And it's not even the All-Star break, man. I think they really should have waited to do this until after the All-Star break if they were seriously thinking about it, because then you kind of know exactly where your team is going. And if the Kings really were to lose that many more games, you'd be able to kind of tank and prepare to get a draft pick. But now, it's just even more madness. There's chaos in the locker room, I'm sure, trust issues. But yeah, bro, what are your thoughts on that, man? And how do you feel about Mike Brown getting fired?
I thought it was a stupid decision, honestly, because realistically, like you said, he's brought more success to the franchise in past 20 years than anyone else has in for that team. So it was very surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong, they haven't been having a great season, but that's not always the coach's fault. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say like what they and it's like what were your expectations realistically? You know what I mean? Yes,
Yeah,
y'all got DeMar DeRozan in the offseason, but did y'all really think this was going to be what took y'all from barely missing the playoffs last year to being a championship contender? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
just I didn't like it, and I didn't like the way that they also went about it. I'm pretty sure you know this, but for all our fans that didn't know, he it was after practice. I think they were uh he was on the airport to fly to LA, and they called him on the phone after practice and fired him.
Okay,
So
okay,
Mike Malone talked about it. He's like, yeah, what really pissed me off about it was the fact that they lost Thursday night, fifth game in a row, I believe. Tough loss. They had practice this morning. He does his post game media, and he's in his car going to the airport to fly to LA, and they call him on the phone and fired him.
wow.
So, and I think he
I
was
didn't
like,
even know that. I didn't even know that.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
like for real, I didn't even know how he was fired. That's
And
insane.
so the fact that
That's even worse.
you couldn't even fire him in person, you had to call him on the phone. Just kind of, I don't know. I feel like Sacktown has definitely been bright these past couple of seasons, and he was a huge part of that.
Yeah,
I feel
bro.
like that was the least y'all could have done for him.
Exactly.
Fire him in person, not fire him over the phone. And I feel like
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. It just sucks, bro, because he's a great coach, and he definitely is going to be on a coaching staff one way or another. That being a head coach or assistant or whatever it is, he's good. I like Mike
Exactly.
Brown a lot, but
Me too.
I didn't like the way they went about it, because he has been kind of the driving force for them and kind of flipped their franchise around for the past couple seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think
as I said,
yeah, it's just frustrating for me,
the
bro. 'Cause
the thing that I saw, I don't know, remember who was talking about it, but they were saying like the coach of the year, that like getting that award is obviously it's a great accomplishment for a coach, but it kind of sets the bar for coaches. So if you don't replicate that season like Mike Brown hasn't these past couple seasons, then it's like, well, you're out of here. It's what it kind of seems like. You know what I mean? Like,
fair
because
enough. I understand. Like I said, I understand from a business perspective, but there's just ways you go about handling business. Like you're saying, not firing somebody over the phone or whatever the case may be. Like I understand, but I gotta let bygones be bygones. I'm just glad it's not my team right now. We're not in that turmoil. But yeah, bro, he's been really instrumental to that city. So
mm,
it's a shame to see him go. I think yeah, no, I think I was gonna ask you, bro, kind of going into the animosity part of the NBA right now, bro. Like, what you think about all these fights that have been going on, my man? You seen the
uh,
one with you saw the one with With Amen, right?
Tyler Hero and Amen, of
Yeah.
course. And then I
Oh,
saw the one
fact.
with
I was on
Nurkic
Los about
and
it.
Najee Marshall.
Yeah, bro, for
Yeah,
sure.
bro.
What you think about it?
I'm not saying I like seeing fights. I mean, you know what
I
I mean?
got
Like
one question for you in a second. I got a good question for you.
uh it's entertaining though. You know what I mean? I feel like it do you feel like it kind of has something to do with like the viewership being down, quote unquote. I'm not saying that they're going out there trying to fight people, but they kind of have that. Oh, y'all are saying that we're not, our viewership's down. We're
Gonna
not
do it?
yeah. So like, I feel like that. I mean, not saying that's the reason. Obviously, like we don't know what's being said to each other on the court or off the court or whatever it may be, but I mean, it makes the games more exciting. I feel like that's one
I was
thing that
gonna say, do you think they should just like not like it like hockey where you can like fight, but like just let it go. Like if they swing, bro, they swing because like it's gonna get clicks, dog. Like
yeah.
it's all right.
I mean,
It's
yeah, I'm
all
pretty
right.
sure the NBA's viewership, quote unquote, probably was going crazy whenever those fights were going on.
Nah, for sure. And like shout out our TikTok people, but like I know they gonna eat this up. Like there's been some good fights, like like they people actually been swinging and shit. So like I think
Yeah,
Kyrie was talking about it, bro. Kyrie was like, "This is just madness." Like I think he's paying the fine,
the
bro,
fines, yeah,
because yeah, PJ and Najee, like they just some dogs. But it's crazy, bro. Like seeing people really go blows, like because I'm like, damn, bro, like this is like how it used to be, kind of.
mm-hmm.
Like they'll let
Like that
you. They'll
physical,
let you. They wouldn't let you fight, but back in the '90s, bro, they'll let you fight. Basically, like
yeah,
it wasn't, any questions. It was like, bro, if Michael Jordan got fouled hard by the Bad Boy Pistons, like it was a fight
right.
for
Yeah, no,
sure.
I
So I
like
just wanted to see your thoughts on that.
I don't want it to be like a Bad Boys Pistons area. I don't want to see people injuring each other, of course, but I don't mind seeing it, bro. I think it's like that fiery, competitiveness in all of us. Like, if you're talking shit to me and I'm cooking your ass, like I'm gonna say something, and if you are gonna
Yeah,
retaliate, however you retaliate, then that's up to you. But I think it just goes to show, just kind of like you said, there's dogs in this league that may not be household names, but they're not
yeah,
gonna they're
they'll
gonna
still do it, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're not gonna let you walk all over them just because they're
they'll be like, let's take it to the back. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, like they'll be like, let's take it to the back, bro, and we'll solve it out there.
Yeah, yeah, bro. But yeah, Men Thompson fucking judo flipping Tyler
Yeah,
Hero, huh?
bro. He like flipped him, bro. Like,
Literally flipped his.
yeah,
Hey man,
crazy,
that boy
crazy.
Men strong as hell, bro.
Yeah, bro, strong, bro. He like an ox, bro. He
Yeah.
he just he really is. When what that quote what Ime said about how like nobody should get past him, bro. I think that's true.
Mm.
Like he's just, he's somebody he gonna stand up for sure. But yeah, I just think it's kind of funny. Honestly, I've been laughing at it recently. It just seems like there's been more going on. So wanted to see your thoughts on that.
All right, like, are you? Or what do you think about it? Like, are you mad at it, or do you think it's like good for the league?
I just think it's funny, bro. Like I don't really think it's bad or good. Like you're saying, like it's not good because we don't want people to get hurt,
Yeah.
and it's not bad because it is kind of funny and it like it boosts the viewership, whatever. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like I'm kind of split. I just think it's kind of you laugh at it and you're just like, okay, like sheesh, because kind of reminds me of like watching a fight in middle school that I wasn't in. Like I
Yeah.
would just be like, oh
Oh,
shit,
no.
yeah, like
Get
bro,
your
think about it like
money.
that. Like I'm just neutral, bro. Yeah, no cameras. This is like back when we were like, bro, we were gangster, bro. Like we weren't even thinking about pulling out our phones really
Right.
first, but it was just like really we would square up and like just you would be like, oh shit, like you're saying, bro, just like
Right.
just being a rowdy goofball, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think I'm indifferent. That's the word I have for it. I think it's like funny, but at the end of the day, I'm indifferent.
Yeah. Hey, I think we need to talk about him, bro. Shout out to Tyler Harrow, huh?
Oh man, bro. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Jimmy gets traded, bro, I mean, like we've been talking about at length, kind of, but I just think he's been, he's the gem. He's the gem that was hidden, I guess.
Right.
Like I don't know what to say, but yeah, if he can continue this for the next couple years, I think, like I've been saying, the Heat just will keep continuing to really grow. So I
Is
think that's good.
Is he gonna be an all-star this year?
Yeah, I think so, bro. Maybe not a starter, but I think he'll be a reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, Cade is
Yeah.
looking really good too. He's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I said, I think I've said it before too. Like I think personally, Cade. I mean, not to discredit Hero or anything. I think Hero's efficiency has been great, but like Cade does a lot more in like every aspect of basketball, just with the rebounding and assists. So, um, yeah, like Cade's been great too, bro. I mean, I
And
think,
they're actually winning too.
yeah,
They
bro. Like
won
the
more
Pistons are,
games right
than
now
they
than they
were
did
last than
all
they did.
last year.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure. Yeah, Detroit definitely has some hope, bro. Like there's some young teams, that they're trying to build around certain cores that are actually most likely going to work out, bro, if they can just build continuity and again continue to just believe in what they have. But yeah, the Tyler Hero situation it's a pretty big deal, bro. Like cuz I
mhm.
think it's going to get Jimmy traded most likely, and it's also just it's going to help the Heat continue to move in the direction that they need to go in. And obviously, we don't really have Los like talking about it as much, but just the Heat have been kind of the question mark all year. I don't really know what team they are. If any, there's like a couple teams where I still haven't figured them out. The Heat are definitely one of those teams.
Yeah. I just don't. You just don't know what you're gonna get from them every
And
game.
you just never know what you're gonna get on any given night.
Uh,
But do I think they would have been all stars with Paolo and Franz? No.
no. Yeah, no. I don't think so either. But shit.
Yeah, because
Speaking
those
of
spots are full.
speaking of that team, sir, shout out to the Orlando Magic, man. Boys have been balling
Yeah,
out with
bro,
that.
they're
Sh-
good.
Shout out to
Suggs is good.
yeah, yeah. Anthony hit that game winner yesterday. He's been doing really well since the injuries that they've been happening. That have been happening to them this whole season. But I think that kind of just goes to show. I mean, I've been talking about them a lot. I was really high on them last year, and the fact that they are kind of able to figure out how to win without their two best players is kind of crazy to me because I don't even know if my team could do that per se. If we were
Yeah,
down
yeah.
Shea and Chet, would J Dub be able to? And
Said it.
obviously,
I mean, do you remember what I said? I said it's gonna make them better.
yeah. No,
I don't know if you remember, yeah, but
I
it's just
remember
gonna
that.
make like their team like a lot better.
Yeah,
So like whenever those players do come back, whenever Paulo and Franz come back, like it's not gonna be like of course they're still gonna get their shots, but like all those role players they play real minutes, bro. It's like they know what to do in situations, how to win games, like you're saying, like how to hit game winners and play in clutch situations and play good defense, right? Like all those important things. So I think it's a testament to their coaching staff as well. I feel like they just don't get enough credit over there in Orlando, but I think it's coming around, bro. I think more and more people are starting to realize what's going on down there. But I think Jalen Suggs has just been awesome, because I have him on my fantasy team, bro. I've said that a couple times, but he's just been cooking, bro. Him and Shea together. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch. Like,
yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh, Shit, bro. I mean, I guess
you
kind of going into
you
our
have your franchise.
yes, sir. So
Okay.
for everyone that doesn't know, I'm gonna be asking ZD who he thinks is the franchise's best player, and then I'm gonna give it to him by divisions. So
Yeah,
last
in each
time we did
division.
the Pacific Division in the West. This time we're going to do the Southeast Division on the East.
Okay. East. Yeah.
So
Okay.
who do you think the best player from the Atlanta Hawks franchise is?
Honestly, bro, this might be a hot take, but I'm gonna say Trey Young. I just feel like
Really?
yes, like even though he didn't win, like he hasn't won a finals yet, I just feel like what he's been able to do from just being like the offensive hub of that team and really being like the next one. Like even I think from a skill perspective, bro, if I'm being honest with you, he's better than any like Hawks legend. Like he'll out dribble your stuff, bro. He shoots from 40 feet. Like not even I was like going through my head. What's his face?
Pis-
Dominique
I
Wilkins.
would
Like
say
not
Pistol Pete.
Dominique. Yeah, Pistol Pete. Like Pistol Pete's close. I was thinking about him, but even
Or
his
like
shooting, like you
was
know,
Bob Pettit for the Hawks?
I think he was Bob Pettit. I think like Daryl Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Yeah, like there's a couple legends that they have, but in my opinion, I really do think Trey
Like when it's all
is the
said and
most.
done,
Yeah, bro, or yeah,
even right
like when it's
now.
all said and done, but like, bro, yeah, like even right now, I would say he's a top three franchise player that they've ever had. Um, just what I mean, look at the stats, bro.
Yeah, true.
Like it's pretty crazy. So, yes, I know that one might be hot because there's probably like definitely a legend per se that has won or maybe again just has a more winning record, but like at the end of the day, skill wise and like being the franchise player in the face of Atlanta, like I think of Trey.
Fair enough. I can't I
Yeah,
can't argue with
yeah,
you,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. You asked me.
Yeah, right. All right, sir. Who do you think the best player in the Charlotte Hornets franchise is?
Probably Grandmama, um, Larry
Larry
Johnson,
Johnson.
UNLV. Yeah, for sure. If you guys don't know, like this dude was cold, bro. I mean, him or Alonzo Mourning.
You wouldn't say Kemba?
Nah, bro.
Nah.
Nah. I love Kemba. I think Kemba might be a top five one, honestly. But with LaMelo too, bro. I think LaMelo's past Kemba,
Mm.
for being honest.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I feel
obviously
like
Kemba
it's
has
like
the records and shit, but he played there longer, so
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think it's between Mourning or honestly, I'm gonna go with Mourning, bro. Never
okay.
mind. I'm gonna switch my answer. I'm gonna go with Alonzo. I just feel like he's probably the most polished player that they've ever had. Um, in terms of skill, and then just being a big man, being able to compete against some of the best big men of all time. He definitely held his own, and people forget how good he was. But I know bro. Like he Larry Johnson was good, but I feel like Alonzo Mourning was definitely probably the first player I think of when I think of the OG Charlotte Hornets.
Right. Gotcha. Who do you think the
And I
best?
think they're a franchise, bro. If I'm not mistaken, they ain't been around too long.
Nah, they're one of the newer
Not as
ones.
long as the Hawks have, for sure.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Who do you think the best player in Miami Heat history is?
Dwayne Wade, and it's no questions. I mean, if you answer anybody else, you dumb. You dumb. I mean, the Flash is the Flash, bro. I mean, he gave them hope, gave them their championships. I think they've had great players, even Alonzo Mourning, Shaq, LeBron James, obviously. But I think when it's all said and done, there's one player that comes to your mind whenever you think about the Heat, and to me, that's Dwayne Wade. And obviously, growing up watching him, he was really just a hybrid of like Kobe and AI to me. I feel like he had the bounce of I mean AI had bounce, but Kobe definitely had more bounce for sure. Kobe was in dunk contests and stuff, but
Right.
young D Wade was catching bodies, bro. I think if I'm not mistaken, did he win Finals MVP against the Mavericks?
The first year.
Yeah, so I think
Oh
he won
six.
Finals MVP. He's a Finals MVP. Um, and just his resume kind of speaks for itself and his pedigree, bro, and his his ascension to greatness. I think it definitely like when you think of a franchise player on the Heat, like bro, it's Dwayne Wade for sure.
Where uh, where would Jimmy Butler be in there for you?
Top five. I think I ain't gonna lie. I think Jimmy's like just past Braun though, barely. Like, because Jimmy hasn't really won anything, but in terms of like franchise player, bro, like he stayed with the Heat a pretty long time now. I feel like he has kind of all the necessary rights to that title too. I mean, the playoff performances speak for themselves.
Right, 100%. That's I know that some people were saying like he is their franchise best player.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Obviously, Dwayne Wade is definitely like a lot. In my opinion, just whenever you think about the Heat, you think about D
D
Wade, but
Wade.
I think Jimmy Butler definitely has put himself in the top five for sure. And like we were saying, just his playoff performances are kind of second to none. So,
Fair enough. Who do you think the best player in Orlando Magic history is?
ooh, this one's tough too. I go think of Penny Hardaway, Shaq. Um,
Dwight.
well, I was gonna say Dwight. That's why I
Oh,
didn't
my
say
fault,
it.
my fault, my fault. Whoops.
He said, Dwight. Yeah,
Teach.
bro, that's who I'm going with, man. I mean, probably the most dominant, one of the if you guys don't remember, because we have some younger viewers, but he would win Defensive Player of the Year every single year. Average easily the most blocks, dunk on anybody, like, and he was Superman, bro. And I feel like even more than Shaq, because Shaq obviously didn't win anything, and that's okay, and neither did Dwight either, but he did take him to the finals against Kobe.
Mhm.
But I think whenever I think of the Orlando Magic, and again, they're kind of also a younger franchise as well, I think of Dwight Howard, just his ability to be a super dominant big man from a defensive perspective, but also just what he could do on offense, bro. I mean, he was really an immovable object. Like, you couldn't move that dude out of the paint, and anytime you threw the ball to him, bro, it was going to be a dunk. It was a mismatch or a dunk, so you really had to foul him. He couldn't shoot really that well, but this was back then whenever the bigs didn't have to be stretch bigs. But Dwight Howard was definitely like a young Dwight Howard is one of the best centers of all time for sure.
Yeah, he won 4 DPOYs in a row. Or
Yes, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, like he was the man of the paint, and just what he again like his athleticism, the way that I just feel like whenever I think of Shaq, bro, I think more of like it's interesting with Shaq's career. It's like I think he's been on so many teams that it's hard for you to really pick one that he's impacted the most. I think the Heat, the Lakers, and obviously the Magic are right there. But I feel like Shaq was more impactful on the Lakers, to be honest. And people forget, obviously how many awards Dwight Howard has, and obviously he was also an All Star every single year too. So
Yes, sir. And last but certainly not least, who do you think the Washington Wizards' best player is of their franchise history?
Wes Unseld, no doubt. Nobody's been able to like outdo him yet. The Wizards are definitely like they're an interesting franchise because they don't have a ton of great legendary players, but they do have Wes. And I didn't watch him, but I've seen film, and obviously we've heard stories about the type of player that he was on offense and what he was also a bigger, kind of a hybrid before his time, kind of like a bigger guard almost. He would dribble the ball up the court and dunk on people, very athletic, but definitely the best Wizards franchise player. There's really nobody else that comes to mind whenever you think about like Wizards history and who's the best. But yeah, bro, definitely got to rock with Wes Unseld. And for our younger viewers, you got to go do your research, man, because it gets tough, bro. It gets sticky. He's asking me like I got to scan like all the way back because in this case I can't say anybody recently. Obviously the Wizards don't. They don't. You think of John Wall, Bradley Beal, those guys are within the top five, but they're not the best one ever. It's definitely Wes Unseld. So that's the homework for you guys. Go look him up.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, that was this edition of who's the
Southeast,
best.
right?
Yeah, Southeast Division. Who's the franchise player from these teams? We'll definitely keep this going. We'll probably do it every Monday, just because I feel like it's a
Yeah.
good segment. We could kind of end the show off, but kind of going into this, since I'm looking at all these teams in the divisions and stuff. Do you think the NBA should do something with like the NFL? If you win your division, you get like home court. Do you think they should do because they used to do something like that? Because I feel like right now divisions don't really matter in the NBA. Like obviously you'll probably play them a couple games more
I was
than
gonna say just for
scheduling
the
and
schedule.
stuff, and then I guess the title of being Pacific champ or Northwest champ or whatever it is. But do you like that? Like, do you like how the NBA does it with now
I
opposed to how
think
they
they
used
should
to?
make it. They should incentivize the players to win the division. I mean, why not make it matter for home court or whatever? Especially when you know baseball, NFL, like they have certain ways to determine that. But ultimately, I think the divisions are just kind of something I think they use for organizational purposes. I hate to break it down to people like that simply, but it really is that simple. I feel like they were just used for scheduling purposes and being able to put the teams in really the category of the U.S. really, and just being able to understand like, okay, these teams are in the West, these teams are in the East, like, and these are the divisions for the West and the East, and just like I'm saying, for formal and organizational reasons. But yeah, I would love to see them kind of change or maybe make a certain part of the season where it like kind of I don't know, something determines home court in the playoffs. But yeah, I think yeah, the NBA should definitely look into that for sure.
I know
100%.
they used to do it though, but then you would get to the
Yeah,
point where
yeah,
like a team from, let's just say, the Southeast Division, a little bit weaker, like, for the most part, if they win, let's say the Hawks end up winning their division and they get home court advantage, but they're below, or like the, let's say the Knicks end up having a better record than
yeah,
them. So
yeah.
it's like you kind of get like, I understand it, but I feel like it doesn't, like you said, incentivize them to like want to win their division.
Right. Yeah,
Because,
there's no reason to
you
push for
know,
that.
like in football, like you said, in baseball, like, oh, we're gonna win our division, we're gonna get home
Yeah, you get
fields.
like pennants and stuff.
Right. So it's kind of like, I see it because I understand it, because I remember seeing, like, I don't remember the example, but there were teams that were getting home court with the worse record than a team that didn't make the playoffs or something, or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't really, because I guess it just based off your record, but I feel like they should try to motivate them to try to win their division, because that's a big deal. Like, it may not be a Western Conference title or anything, but it's still something. I think whenever you go to the courts and stuff, they have like banners and stuff in the rafters of like their
Exactly,
division. So
exactly.
they do
Yeah, they're
that,
division
but
winners.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Interesting.
it's a little hard to do that and I kind of like it like this, honestly, because going back to football, you have, not trying to talk bad about your team, but you have the Texans who are gonna go to the playoffs, but they're in a weak division, so it kind of is helping them out a little bit more than being in the NFC North or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, how do you go about it with like keeping an even playing field for everyone, and, oh, this team is better but they're not, you know what I mean? So it's kind of,
Yeah, like I think though too, you just like the cycles of teams getting good and bad, it just is what it is. Like you have to remember certain divisions are going to be stronger than others because that's just where the teams are at respective to where they're at just on their trajectory of the team. Like, if they're progressing or if they're not progressing. And like the Jets, for example, like they definitely they're not doing well, or the Wizards suck, they're not doing well. But I think hopefully, like, the idea with the divisions and stuff, like I was saying, is like just to organize it to where hopefully every single team gets their chance. And we've kind of talked about that before. And, hopefully they can make it have a little bit bigger of an impact than it does right now.
yes, sir. But yeah, that's all I have for
Yeah,
this slate
yeah, for
on
sure.
this pod. Was there anything else you wanted to let the audience know, sir?
Nah, but we're gonna be coming at you guys with the on Wednesday with some more bets. So get the sports books out for sure.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, no, we're definitely we're gonna be dropping. I don't know when our episodes are coming out, but um soon for
Soon,
sure.
very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if y'all liked and enjoyed this episode of Three Man Weed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Go follow us on all social media. They'll be in the description down below. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace. Three man, three man, three man. Thunder up,
Three
baby.
man, Lake Show, you know how it is. Let's go.
Sir.
Peace.
Peace, man.